Hello guys, this is Nothing Else, another Cargo Pants video, and this time I'm recording the video for the third time. Because, the first time it just didn't record at all. The second time, the video recorded but the audio didn't record. And right now I finally fixed it, and now it functions normally. So yeah, sorry for that. And yeah, that's my anime tier list. And yeah, these two, I have no idea what these two are. Um, I just generally don't know, unless this is Fire Force or something. But I don't know. This doesn't really look like Fire Force to me. Okay, I watched Fire Force and I don't recall Shinra just having just blue flames. So yeah. Now I'm not into the sports anime, so I didn't watch these and I don't plan. These are the anime on my to watch list. And these are the anime that I started watching. However, I'm not really deep enough into the series to actually rate them. Now, with the worst tier of anime, we're going with Boruto. Boruto is essentially just a downgrade Naruto. There's just one good character and it just feels lazy, in my opinion. Just like, lazy. Dragon Ball Z has the exact same problem of it being pretty lazy. In my opinion, just trying to cash off its predecessor. But yeah, I did enjoy some things in Dragon Ball Super. So I put it there. Now we get to the C tier where there's original Dragon Ball, In early Dragon Ball, I had some problems, although the fights were pretty cool and some of them felt like decently tactical. And as it progressed, it became more just about power scaling rather than tactics. Just like, oh, this guy has more power. In Rise of King. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to make a Rise of Kingdom joke over here. Um, so yeah, just Dragon Ball Super has the same problem, but tenfold. But yeah, it's like decently okay, enjoyable. Dragon Ball Z, it's pretty okay. And sorry for the background sound, but the entire family decided that just the only the only time in the world when it is time to be loud is just when I'm recording. When I press record, all the sounds in the whole house start. Literally, quite literally, nothing was happening. But the moment I just pressed record once, my mom decided that she wants to cook some cake, so she pulled out the mixer that is pretty loud. My brother decided that it's finally time to just clean his room. My dad decided to listen to some very loud music from a concert or something. I don't really remember what. And also, there were a bunch of ambulances running across the street during the video. So yeah, that's essentially my luck. So please forgive me for that. And now, why I put Naruto, both Narutos, yeah, both Narutos I will count as one essentially. And Hunter x Hunter will be separate. So yeah, why do I have a kind of a problem with Naruto? I mean, Naruto is pretty decent for the most part. However, I do not enjoy it 100% of the time. I do enjoy jutsu mechanics and stuff like this. And the villains are peak. They are very good. The villains are very good in Naruto. Mostly I don't want to really spoil anything. So yeah, I'm not going to say that. And Naruto, I don't really count that because I mostly read manga and stuff like this. But Naruto actually has bearable fillers. You know, the filler episodes when they appear, they're not just horrible, even though in most animes and stuff like this, they are horrible. And yeah, I mean it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Um, but you know, I'm not really fan of the themes of Naruto because you know the main character and you know Sakura, they aren't like really good. I don't really enjoy. I don't really enjoy Naruto, and I don't really enjoy Sakura either. And also Hinata. I mean, like they don't feel like this is really strong. Like they don't feel like okay. Naruto is strong, okay, but he doesn't feel like a fair character. Like it doesn't feel like he earned it because most of his power was was just like granted to him internally, even though the whole theme of Naruto is working for the power you get, which Dragon Ball also has the same problem in my opinion. And yeah, right now, also you know there is a problem with just Sakura and Hinata. Like they don't feel like fully fleshed out in my opinion. You know, like Sakura did have her moment when she like just cut her hair and stuff like this. However, she doesn't feel like a very good character in my opinion. So yeah. Now to Hunter x Hunter. Well, Hunter x Hunter, some characters are pretty good. Some characters are not all that enjoyable. You know, like I'm going to tell you, Hunter x Hunter, similarly to One Piece, had a really rough start. You know, but you know, Hunter x Hunter now gets diminished by the rough start, and One Piece later after the rough start just decides to fix up the problems that were caused by the rough start, you know? Like, the rough start in One Piece was the setup to stuff, you know? But the rough start in Hunter x Hunter is not really too good and it doesn't feel like a very decent setup, you know? Like, in my opinion, just Hunter x Hunter really only starts um, being an enjoyable experience when you just like finish Heaven's Arena. Only then. I mean, like Grid Island um, was pretty good. It was pretty good. Like, was a pretty decent arc, you know. And it's getting close to like the Dark Continent and stuff like this. So probably it will like if the manga progresses to the Dark Continent and stuff like this. Um, then it will be. Then it probably like may has potential to be in A tier. You know, has potential to be in A tier. Pretty good potential to be in A tier when you know the Dark Continent thing starts. No, Death Note, pretty good psychological anime. You know, I pretty decently like the dynamic between the main two characters for the most of the time. However, it's not like hyper great. It's not like hyper great to the extent that I'm just like having my mind constantly blown, you know. Um, I mean, like it's definitely way more enjoyable experience than Naruto, for example, and Hunter x Hunter so far. But it's not like really amazing. It never really completely amazed me, you know. No, Bleach is like, yeah, I pretty like the mythology and inspiration and stuff like this. I enjoy it a lot. Like I enjoy it pretty much a lot. Like fillers are really bad though, so just skip fillers. And yeah, I mean like it's pretty good. What else do I say? Like character designs are also good. The whole bank I think is also good. Yeah, without like spoiling too much. And I also just enjoy the villains similarly to Naruto. Like I don't know if like the villains. Mm, I don't know which one has like better villains. I think that they're pretty much on par, but Bleach executes more stuff better in my opinion. And also Attack on Titan is here because I'm going to tell you, Attack on Titan started pretty like uh, started pretty meh in my opinion in the first season mostly. It's just like, oh, it's dark, it's edgy, oh, you know. And then in second season it got like pretty decent, like pretty watchable. It got like pretty enjoyable, you know. Like 8 year, it hit like 8 year in season 3, you know. In season 4 and like the whole manga since when season 4 started, it would be S tier if not for the ending, you know. It would be S tier if not for the ending. Like I mean, like the season 4 would be S tier if not for the ending, pretty much. Like I mean, it would be S tier. Like also ending, it's pretty bad. Okay, so I mean, the fact that first 2 seasons aren't really that good, and also the ending is pretty bad, just knocks it down to A tier. And also, yeah, My Hero Academia is also here, so you know. Um, I enjoy a lot of stuff. I enjoy the character designs, especially the newer character designs. I enjoy a lot of stuff about My Hero Academia. You know, and it finally touched on a lot of things that I hoped it would touch from the past. And it is one of the best mangas in terms of focusing on the side characters. You know, like it doesn't feel like Deku, like it feels like Deku is the main character, you know, but it doesn't feel like all the other characters are just there so Deku has people to interact with, okay? Like they don't feel like just tools. The characters don't feel like tools to explore the main character, you know. They feel almost pretty much always they feel like their own thing, you know. While you know, just you know, it didn't make the same mistake that Naruto did. Yeah, I mean, it is really really good. I enjoy a lot of stuff in this. It gets pretty creative. However, there are two drawbacks that keep me from putting it in S tier. First one is that it doesn't really get like too much world building, like world building is like my thing, you know. Like I really like when authors build good worlds, you know, or if the whole thing is like really comedy. You know, like I'm a guy that is all for like good comedy and world building. You know, um, however, you know, like it does have its comedy moments. However, you know, like the world building is pretty lacking in my opinion. Like it doesn't have too much stuff except like the hero hierarchy and stuff like this. It doesn't have any. It's not like unique enough, in my opinion. But you know, it's pretty good. I'd say it's pretty good. I'm not rating fandoms here, okay? I'm rating the anime as a thing, a separate thing. If it would be fandom, then whoosh, it would be like straight down, straight the lowest tier possible. And now S tier out of this, out of this one, as I watched way more stuff. I watched Spy Family and stuff like this. However, you know, these are like the main ones I've noticed. These are like, this is like a pretty short list for like a not too long video. So yeah. Now One Punch Man, yeah, it is here for its comedy department and stuff like this. I really like a lot of things in One Punch Man. A lot of themes. I really like. Just I really just like One Punch Man. It is one of the rare times where just anime makes me consistently laugh. Because I'm going to tell you, comedy is mostly best used sparingly, you know? Like, in a lot of times, when there's a lot of comedy, for example in One Piece, even though I put One Piece in S tier, for its mostly world building, I do acknowledge that it overuses comedy, okay? It has some of its moments, however, you know, it feels overused, especially in terms of Sanji. However, One Punch Man, even though it really lacks in the world building, in my opinion, department, like pretty much only world building things that we got is the hero agency stuff, and also the like some of the alien stuff so far. So it definitely lacks in that department, but it makes up in comedy. And yeah, a lot of characters. I really like the designs of some characters, even though like some characters have like downright horrible designs. Okay, like some of characters have horrible designs that I don't like. I'm just thinking what went through the manga from like the illustrators like head when making these designs. They're just like horrible. But yeah, it definitely belongs in S tier. Like some designs though, like Genos for example, and like Garo, um, click with me a lot. And yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy Fullmetal Alchemist a lot. I enjoy the main duo. I enjoy the power system because power system of alchemy is pretty good. I really like the equivalent exchange thing with the power system, and you know, I just really like it. You know, like it had very great villains. It executed seven deadly sins really well. The concept of like powers of seven deadly sins. So yeah, it just like it's just like very good. I mean, there's not much to say. I enjoy a lot of things about this. I'm thinking about what more to say. Like, yeah. Yeah. Also, I recommend reading manga more in terms of Full Metal Alchemist Brother, like Full Metal Alchemist. Just I recommend manga more than the actual anime adaptations. Now, One Piece. Yeah, One Piece world building. Yeah, that's my thing. So, yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing. The fights are also pretty good. I decently enjoy the power system of like pretty much everyone who just trains having access to like two of the three forms of haki. Even though technically maybe you can make maybe you can get it just like in three things like lineage factor. I'm not really sure if lineage factor is the deciding thing with Conqueror's haki. I think that just having a will of a conqueror will just like define it. Will define it more than a lineage factor because haki is supposed to be hard work reflected. So I really think that pretty much anyone could awaken Conqueror's haki technically. And the devil fruits, yeah, like they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Like you just eat, you get fruit power. It's pretty versatile, a soft system. It's, even though it has hard rules, like you need to eat it, and then when you eat it, you get a power. However, you cannot swim in water specifically. However, water, like you need to be actively submerged. Like half of your body needs to be actively submerged in water, at least from what I noticed. For the FFX to actually take place. Like I mean, I do enjoy a lot of characters. I do enjoy also, just like with My Hero Academia, I do enjoy how it splits attention between the like main characters and the side cast. So yeah, like sidecast feels like they're their own thing, rather than just like stepping stones for Luffy, and occasional like and things to just occasionally make mix up the fights. So yeah, like also just like Hunter x Hunter, it had a rough start, like up until the up until the Baratier arc, I wasn't really on top of it, like I really didn't like One Piece when I started it, like Romance Dawn arc was like, oh yeah, okay, it was like pretty decent, like and stuff like this. It was like okay, also later Orange Town was like, oh yeah, they're fighting some random clown and stuff like this. It felt it when reading. And then Syrup Village was like, oh my gosh. This guy is supposed to be the smart definition of a character over here. This plan is like the dumbest plan. Is he really smart? The quote unquote like smart guy, the man of 1,000 plans? Because it doesn't feel like it at all. It just, like with Syrup Village, I just didn't like it a lot. With Baratier, it just gets back up a bit. And when with Arlong Park, it really starts to click with you. Like the actual themes of like dreams and stuff like this, and a lot and some of world building by just showing off power levels of characters and just like introducing us to like a bunch of concept was done in Baratier. Also, the same thing was done with like Arlong Park. However, I definitely see the early chapters, because I'm going to tell you that with how it divides the attention between the side characters and stuff like this, the really important thing is, in the first thing, the Romance Dawn, it just introduced us to the main theme of the thing. And also we got like introduction of Shanks and a lot of character and a lot of like the whole Red Hair Pirate crew and stuff like this. Like it did just a bunch of setup, you know. Like the first, like these first arcs, you know, um, they're pretty bad, you know. They were pretty bad, but they were set up to give us payoff, you know. Like Nami's character, like in Orange Town, we got introduced to Nami just like a side thing, like, oh yeah, now we got a random character, just like some sort of D&D thing, you know, like quite literally when there's like a random person that finally decides to join a D&D party, and when there's a group of two and just like, oh yeah, this random thief will join you. Like it felt like this in like Orange Town arc. But it not only just decided to make a pretty decent setup to Arlong Park, but also introduced us to, you know, like the villain will not be just like random unimportant guy, okay? The villain will later be pretty important, and I really like this, you know, except for like the, but in Baratier once again, but Baratier was, even though I really enjoyed it, in terms of like, you know, the Oda thing, it was kind of a letdown, because like one of my favorite characters in the whole series was introduced in Baratier and was hinted at to join the crew. However, yeah, he just didn't join the crew, and I'm kind of disappointed with that. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you with, and I'm going to also tell you like Enies Lobby. Enies Lobby, mwah, just mwah. Enies Lobby was like peak fiction, you know, just like it was pretty rare instance where just I laughed, you know, like my fate in Enies Lobby, after like Enies Lobby, we got my favorite crew member joining the team, joining the Straw Hat, my favorite crew member. And Enies Lobby also was a rare instance where Oda's pacing was actually good, you know? Like, I'm going to tell you, One Piece pacing, like, the manga pacing was like pretty meh, you know? The anime pacing is like pretty bad. Toei does a horrible job at pacing, even though it does a great job at just like animating and adapting it. Especially right now with Wano, the animation got like really good. However, their pacing is pretty bad, you know. As much as I just like love what they did recently with One Piece's animation, their pacing was pretty bad, and already the normal manga pacing was pretty bad, and they just made it worse. So yeah, that's more of a manga experience in my opinion than an anime experience, because like first fillers also, before like the movie Strong World, the fillers were really bad. You know, this movie was the first movie that actually like it was the first filler content that actually was pretty good. Yeah, the world of One Piece is like pretty good. Especially like with the world building and stuff like this. Um, so yeah, now let's get to JoJo's. Yeah, once again, mostly it needs mostly except for a few rare exceptions, the anime needs to have either a bunch of world building. Yeah, it's way easier to say world building instead of world building. Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of world building, or have great comedy. And JoJo has achieved this via comedy and stuff like this, you know. Also, a lot of fights in JoJo, just like One Piece, a lot of fights feel way more creative than just feeling power leveled, you know. Because a lot of animes just put it as okay, this guy has a higher number, so obviously he wins, or just decide to like, oh no, this character is completely overwhelmed. Now guess what? Power of friendship, datebayo, or something like this, you know. No, just Jojo just decides to like, okay, this character, I will kill this character off. You know, I'm going to just say it doesn't shy away from killing characters, even the great characters, even the close one, even the close characters that you think that these characters can never die. Even if you would assume that the character thematically would never be able to die, and just kills them off. It, like, yeah, it just kills them off. It's pretty emotional, but also when there it's times for comedy, it's also really great, and the fights are really creative. For example, right now, in one of the fights, Jotaro needed to essentially just distract enemies in part 3. He just needed to distract an enemy while the other crew, while the other crew members, like, I mean, kind of distract the enemy. He needed to play for time for the other crew members to actually just like find out, just remove the enemy's strong point, just to like leave the enemy for an opening. So then Jotaro can fight the enemy, just completely dominating him. Mm, yeah, like also the characters are pretty cool. Um, Most characters are pretty decent, and you know, like the power system feels really creative. You know, like already. For example, in Hunter x Hunter, usually that's just okay. I will think of this ability that just most likely aligns with my abilities and stuff like this. Yeah, that just usually Hunter x Hunter. Just okay, this one gives me the most nen efficiency and stuff like this. While in JoJo's is like you just get an ability based on your personality and stuff like this. The ability can also evolve and stuff like this. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like JoJo is peak in terms of comedy and stuff like this, you know. And also the character designs, even though some of them are like pretty bad, a lot of them feel like really fashionable and very cool. They feel something like something I could cosplay or something on an event. Yeah. So yeah, only problem with JoJo's I have is really just part one. I didn't really enjoy part one. It just felt like really boring. However, once again, just like One Piece, okay, like part one was the shortest of all parts. It like took in the anime. It took just 9 episodes in the anime. So yeah, it's not too much. However, it introduces some of our basic concepts and stuff like this, and sets up and gets us some real good setup for part 3, which also part 3 will give us good setup for part 6, and also kind of setup for part 5. You know, like part 5 technically exists like within the same universe, but it is its own separate thing, you know. It is its own separate thing. It feels like its own separate thing. Um, because it happens completely isolated and doesn't have too much to do with like the main whole blood and stuff like this. Because bloodline is a pretty important element over here in JoJo's. Well, I mean, it is technically important. It isn't all that important in part 5. In part 5, it stops being really important. Like, so far, JoJo has been really great in pretty much everything except for part 1. And yeah, right now, there's like also part 9 is coming out. And yeah, part 9 will be pretty great. But out of animation, we only got so far up to part 6, I think. And yeah, part 8 will be pretty long. This I think will be pretty long because it was made across like 10 years. So yeah. I just really like JoJo. I just really like JoJo. This is my tier list. I know that that probably most of the takes are pretty horrible to some people. They are pretty great to some people. I know that there will be some like people saying that no, Attack on Titan is the absolute greatest thing. Yeah, I think yeah, I agree that season 4 was like really great. It was probably some of the like most peak fiction up until the ending. And yeah, Death Note is pretty good and psychological, but it just didn't click with me enough. You know, with My Hero Academia, it's problem with it not delivering enough on either comedy or world building, despite having all the other elements really good. You know, so yeah, this is my rating. This is just my rating. And yeah, I'm prepared that Dragon Ball fans will be salty because Dragon Ball is probably like the most toxic fan base, maybe except like MHA and Attack on Titan. And oh yeah, I'm just saying it from my experience, from my own personal criteria. So yeah, just yeah, this is biased. Every tier is biased.